It's more destructive than any other drug Australia has ever seen. It's cheap and it's highly addictive. It's not heroin, but ice or crystal methamphetamine, the most potent amphetamine ever to hit our streets. Its powerful high can last for days or weeks. In Australia, there are now more ice addicts than heroin addicts. It's been a hidden epidemic. Little is known about the long-term effects of the drug or even how to treat its addiction. Health services and governments are not prepared for the chaos ICE has just started to unleash. Some may find this program deeply disturbing, as hardcore ice addicts take us into their world. Tonight on Four Corners, a journey into the dark heart of the ice age that has hit Australia. It's Thursday, Pension Day. Maddie and many ice addicts have been waiting anxiously for today. It means they have money to score and get high.
Hey, better out than
Are you interested in drugs?
Hey, no, mate.
No, I'm just saying, because most people around here are.
Fortunately, you're not.
Don't look at me PIN number, mate. What the fuck? Are you tripping on what?
Matty has just taken out most of his payment.
So how much did you get, Matty?
300.
So what will that buy?
3 days.
Fucking 3 days of fucking 150 mile an hour, no fucking room for gear changes in that episode. Not to 100 in fucking 1 second.
So everyone will go today and they'll burn it up in 3 days, their doll money.
Burn it up for your love!
Bang!
For the next several weeks, Matty will take me inside his community, the hardcore ice addicts that roam the inner city of Sydney. An itinerant group who don't use their real names and never show us how they source their drugs. They call themselves skaters.
They're either figure skaters or fucking speed skaters, mate. They either go through rubbish and pick at cracks, or just wander around in a fucking daze, wondering why they went to places they're going.
So speed skater, what's a speed skater?
Someone who goes in a straight line. No, it doesn't vary. Figure skater, they go round and round circles, and the ice is cracking below, mate.
According to the only study done on methamphetamine use, there are 73,000 dependent users in Australia. Many of them were heroin addicts that jumped to ice several years ago because it was cheaper and more powerful.
I like it because the only drug that gets me off, all the rest is shit, crap. The coppers have fucked it. They keep cutting it too much.
So that's the only drug that's pure.
Well, it is the pure form of going, purest form of going, ice. Because it's the best bit. But really, who knows what's going to happen in 10 years' time, mate?
No, you'll be awake.
No, we could all be spastics in a fucking mental health wing, mate, or something, you know, because the ice might fucking... Because who knows the long-term effects of ice?
Okay. Well,
no one, mate, because it's only been around for fucking 8, 9 years.
Does that worry you at all or not? You just
If it worried me, would you think I'd keep doing it?
Get back to time.
No, really, you know this? I like sticking needles in my vein, right? And I'll put drugs in there that'll get me off. So the only drug that gets me off is ice. Heroin, I'm allergic to it or something, I don't know. I used to love it. And now I hate it.
Mate, if you don't like it, right, I don't give a fuck.
I like you, man.
Matty believes he's an authority in the ice world. In his group, people come and go. They live in a drug cycle of about 2 weeks. For the first week, they take ice and barely sleep or eat. The following week, they crash and sleep until the next welfare check. Then, the cycle starts again.
Matty. Oh, classic him, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, mate, he's with me.
I really love it, mate. No woman could ever love me as much as I love my fucking self.
I like that. But, yeah, it's true.
But it's true.
The next morning, Matty is still up. He's smoking large amounts of marijuana. He believes it calms him down so he can then inject more ice. Matty goes harder than most. Even before this cycle, he's been awake for several days.
So how many days has it been now?
Since I've been sticking ice in my arm, 9 days.
And you haven't slept at all?
Now I've been skating away.
Cat, man.
I slept for an hour this morning, I think. I haven't slept since then.
I opened my eye and you had your...
And you just lose sense of time, do you? Just kind of all comes together, or?
No, you got a heightened sense of time. You're ultimately aware of time. Time passes very fast on ice.
In the afternoon, Mick, an old friend of Matty's, comes around for a shot.
That's pretty good piss too, man. Fuck. Eh? Yeah, it's definitely got me fucking tighten my fucking skates up anyway.
It can be 20 times stronger than speed, the old-style powder version of amphetamine. Mick was one of the first to use ice when batches of it came to Sydney from Thailand in the late 90s. As the addiction advances, users need more and more of the drug. Mick now uses 2 to 3 grams a day, about 10 times more than the normal addict.
What can I say? It's makes you feel good. Reality doesn't disappear, but it sort of brightens up. You know what I mean?
Warps your sense of perception. That's what it does.
Like, put it this way. My girl died 5 months ago, heroin overdose, so I turned up home, she was dead. The reality of it's all still there, but as long as I'm, you know what I mean, daily on the ice and that, it's like, it's like...
He can control his emotions.
Yeah, I can deal with it better, you know what I mean? It's like, it's probably a cop-out, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say it's not.
Mick's organs are not coping with his chronic usage, and parts of his vascular system have collapsed.
Oh yeah, that blood everywhere. Don't worry, I'm not infected yet. Yeah.
So you're having trouble getting into your veins? Why is that?
Because basically the ice has crushed them. Like
the ice has crushed your veins?
Yeah. Only because it's like, unlike heroin where you can only have so much, you know what I mean, before you just go under, or even pot's the same, you know what I mean? Most drugs I know the same. When it comes to ice and that, it's like you can just keep going and going and going. You know what I mean? Boom, 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 you just keep going.
I don't think about anything.
It's taken Mick 20 minutes to inject ice into his bloodstream. He's had to inject in 5 different places to hit the smaller veins in his calf. There is only one other place he can shoot up.
I did me blue vein as well. You know what I mean? Me deep. No,
why?
Because it's better than sitting there stabbing yourself for hours, because I've got this thing about the more blood you get in that fit, the less effective the shot is, you know what I mean? Why, I don't know, but to me, I just know that when I get a shot straight away, bang, it hits me a hell of a lot better, you know what I mean, than when I don't. So every now and then I do me dick. It's a bit of a worry because there's been a couple of times where it hasn't been functional, you know what I mean? Yeah, but that's what I used to say, but you know what I mean? It's like me neck, you know what I mean? I remember when I used to say, like all these young people, you know what I mean? As soon as I can't do my arm,
I'll give up.
I'll give up. Yeah, righty-o. Arms, wrist, hands, you know what I mean? Under here, you know what I mean? The neck went, the groin went, you know what I mean? Like the legs, you just don't, you get in that sort of mode, you know, you just don't realise it.
Mick knows ice is a dangerous drug. He says most of his friends are dead, mad or in jail.
I love ice. I love it because it's a drug. I need to, whatever it is, alter my state of reality, whatever, you know, I mean, I'm just a junkie basically, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, like, because
This is the only life Mick has ever known. He started his addiction with heroin when he was just 13. Now 36, he's been in and out of jail for the last 13 years. For Mick and Maddie, drugs have created and completely defined their identities.
You come off the drug, that's the easy part. It's like, it's not so much about the drug and the needle. It's right out there's the void. So many hours of your day have been dedicated to getting the money, getting the drug, finding the fucking vein, or something, and then all of a sudden, bang. What do you do?
Focus.
You got all this time on your hands. It was 24 hours in a day that, you spent 20 hours of,
Fuck around, trying to fuck
for the
around
drug.
once.
Everybody you talk to, it becomes, we're the fringe dwellers. We're not part of the mainstream community anymore. We're the fringe dwellers.
Show us your bag, show us your bag. Just put your bag out straight. So I can fucking see how much is in there.
You show me yours and we'll compare. Look, that'll do.
Yeah, you got the bigger half.
Yeah, oh, that's all right. I'm going out in the lounge room now. I've got to get a spoon.
Mate, what's wrong with her?
Matty shares his last hit of the day with one of his girlfriends, Lenore.
Bingo.
If bingo's over,
Yeah,
So tell us what's happening with the rush. What are you feeling?
A bit of a rush.
how's it feel?
Yeah.
Doctor feel?
You get a rush, like when you've been for a good jog and you get home and you open up the door.
It's like when you got the
You sit
foot,
back,
right, and you
your
feel
endorphins are kicked in. And you just fucking hot
when
and
you go for
get
a
some
run.
fresh air.
Ice, or crystal methamphetamine, triggers the release of huge amounts of dopamine, the feel-good chemical the brain releases naturally.
Methamphetamine, in my experience, looking at both animal studies with laboratory animals and addict populations, it's one of the most addictive drugs that we know. And it's by virtue of its ability to produce this huge surge in dopamine levels.
Do you want a shot of ice or not? Are you going to be good?
Yeah, ooh,
All right.
So if dopamine's constantly being overproduced, over-released, then the brain will downregulate the receptors that dopamine binds to. So you alter the function of the brain. So you end up with a bit of an abnormal brain as a result of methamphetamine.
So you have 23 different personalities.
Yep. All got different names.
When do they kind of like?
I've got them
act
under
out?
control now. This shit made me so sick. I hadn't eaten that day. I had a shot.
When people take ice, they usually experience psychotic symptoms like paranoia or delusions at the end of their cycle, when they're coming down from the drug. This is the price users pay for the powerful high. In the ice world, this downtime is known as scattering.
I haven't thrown up since I was pregnant.
Lenore is different. She scatters immediately after she has ice and becomes obsessed with rubbish. Lenore can pick through bins like this until the drug wears off, and that could be for days.
This is for people who cycle. Probably $10 in the shop or more. They put that on, then put their helmet on top. So I know some people do cycle.
So why are you doing this? To look for things or what?
Well, one, make money, and the money I make, I don't pay tax on, but I use it as a charity, thing. One, I buy food for people or give money to buy food at the soup kitchen because it costs $1 or $2. And if you only get $1 or $2, it's soup and bread. You just spit.
So how many hours can you do this for?
I've been doing it since 1997.
Like going through bins like this? You can do it for days?
See that
or?
close? I will do this till the day the Lord takes me back to his universe. And if I take birth again, when I grow up, I'll probably do it again. There's a pair of shorts, I'll take it home, disinfect them, wash them twice. Have a nice baby blanket or picnic blanket or something.
Lainey, do you like these?
Yeah, I do.
They're not right for you.
I went
I like
the
that.
first time I
I
went
can make
there.
that into a mini skirt,
Did I know you the first time I went there?
I can make that into a mini skirt.
Prolonged repetitive motor activity like this is a clinically recognised trait of ice users. It's known as punding.
Oh, they're all right. They're nice.
Lenore believes she's doing good and creating order in this world. But her actions are probably more to do with relieving the chaos in her head.
Not what I want. My bedroom fucking music.
I haven't got what I want.
What do you want, doll?
Peace, love and harmony for the planet and fucking equality. Drinkers.
I left Lenore to the night and the rubbish. Long-term users like Lenore can develop amphetamine psychosis, a mental condition that mimics paranoid schizophrenia. Scientists are still uncertain, but early research suggests that ice can shrink the brain.
If we put ICE users in a brain scanner and look at the state of their brains, then the heavy users seem to have a reduced brain volume, which means, death of neurons within the brain, and that's something to worry about. It means that your cognitive function won't be as good. It means that basically you have brain damage.
Matty wanted me to meet John, a user whose brain has also been altered by ice. John rarely leaves this room. He believes he's dying. John is convinced that he's infected with ice bugs, parasites that he believes were living in a bad batch of ice he injected years ago.
Yeah, as you can see, there's something under the skin. Yeah, it's coming through. Yeah, all up here, my leg. I've been using that wash, and as you can see, they come up. This, when it was at its worst, was real pussy in the centre, and you used to be able to squeeze it, and little spores would come out, and they had this red stuff around them, which was very sticky.
John is suffering from Ekbom syndrome, a psychological condition associated with chronic ice and cocaine use. He's having tactile hallucinations, and he'll obsessively pick at his body for days and weeks to pull out the imaginary ice bugs.
So basically, where do they exist?
About 3 layers of skin down.
John believes all his surroundings are infected. He wants help and went to see his local doctor.
What did he say to you?
He put it down to psychosis. But I said to him, look, I understand what psychosis is. A psychosis could be, you've got to have the table set a certain way. You've always got to get up and shut the door, turn the light switch. I know what a psychosis is. But the physical evidence is too much.
Do you think they can kill you?
In the long run, they will. I mean, they've got to be if they're feeding on the fat layer as they are. And I mean, I've lost over the last few months. I've lost a fair bit of weight.
Are you still using ice, or?
Yeah.
Should you stop taking ice?
Probably. I probably should. But I mean, if I can't get rid of them, it's probably too late for me.
Australia's only serious study of the ice community says that almost 1 in 4 users will have a debilitating psychotic episode. That's something Dr. Gordian Fulda understands well.
Guys, somebody left those there.
He's head of emergency at St Vincent's Hospital in the inner city of Sydney.
David?
Since 2000, he's seen a 5-fold increase in patients admitted with methamphetamine or ice psychosis.
We've had some really bad ones,
They've built this special security cell for psychotic ice patients. It can take 6 staff members to contain them.
We hold the patient down safely by their limbs. We don't sit on them, we don't do any of that because it's obviously dangerous. And then we inject in a vein, preferably, very powerful chemicals. It's like a tranquilizer for elephants. It just brings them down instantly because these people are so stimulated, so high, so out of control that a dose of basically like a Valium derivative that would put you to sleep for ages won't even touch them.
Dr. Fulda says he knew from reports coming from America and Southeast Asia that ice was on its way. He says neither he nor the medical community were prepared for the onslaught.
No, these are the most out of control, most violent human beings I've seen in my life, and I've been around for a long time.
In your entire career?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing like it. Normal amphetamines, the good old amphetamines, the old Ritalins, whatever people used to use, it's nothing. Completely different genre.
The emergency department here has been pushed to the limit by the ice epidemic.
What do we got in here?
Many of its resources are being diverted to deal with it. ICE is also pushing mental health services to crisis point.
It makes heroin seem like the really good old days. I mean, heroin was so easy. People would come in drowsy, maybe not breathing that much. It'd be easy to save their life. You just help them breathe and you give them a shot of naloxone, right? And they'd wake up and everything would be hunky-dory, right? It was just like all over and they'd, you know, probably not happy and swear at you, and that's all right. That was fun looking in retrospect. These ones, it's a completely different issue. There's just so many issues here. And as I say, heroin didn't make people, I believe, give a long-term psychiatric effects, which is the thing that really worries me. It's got the acute, but the other thing is it's very bad for the head.
ICE diminishes inhibitions and makes some people hypersexual, increasing the chances of spreading sexually transmitted diseases. Research in America suggests a link between ice usage and an increase in HIV rates. One patient at the St Vincent's security cell masturbated non-stop for 16 hours.
So he's literally just there masturbating for 16 hours in front of everyone?
Yeah, and obviously everybody hated it, and I've got a responsibility to the staff, I've got a responsibility to other patients. It's terrible, but I've got a responsibility to that individual patient to make sure that...
So you can't close the blind?
No, that's the whole reason of having him, because we've got to make sure that something doesn't unpredictably happen. He's under observation. Right, but that was in a very extreme case.
Oh. 3 days later, I caught up with Lenore again. She collected rubbish for 2 days, and now she's returning to some normality.
So you're getting your appetite back?
Oh, yeah, I'm starving. No, I've had about 10 meals yesterday and today.
And how many days before that didn't you eat? How many days before that didn't you eat?
I think 3.
89 cents. Nowhere else is cheaper.
I'm gonna have a big shot!
The only friends hardcore ice addicts have are each other. They've usually left their family and friends far behind.
Yeah, they're doing a documentary on scumbags. And we're the leaders of them. Fucking hell, mate.
Some big guy.
Lenore shares this housing department flat with another addict.
Oh, you've cleaned up.
Come in.
Well done.
Come on.
Much of the rubbish she collects ends up here.
This is clean, really. Cleaned up your act.
Turn the fan on.
Usually you can't get in the door.
What would make you stop it? What kind of thing would make you stop taking ice?
Death.
Only death?
Probably. At the moment.
So nothing else would stop you?
You mean?
Nothing else would stop you taking ice?
And the lack of money and lack of fucking substance being available.
Matty's about to crash. He hasn't had any ice for about a day, and he can't get the money for more.
I see things and I see trees, think they're people.
The shadow people.
I hear people singing my name out. Hear people whispering about me.
So how do you deal with that?
I don't. I just, until I actually, you know, and then I think, oh yes, yes.
You ignore it.
Yeah, I do. A lot of people don't, but because you got to have just, I don't know, you got to have a strong brain, I think. Just let yourself ignore it, because it's a hard thing to ignore. If you see something on the ground, right, and you definitely can see it, it's definitely there, but you don't bend down and pick it up. That's a hard thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know, how many kids have you got?
2.
How old are they?
17 and 9.
How long was it since you've seen them?
I seen the eldest one Christmas Day. We text each other every night. And last year, sometime I seen the youngest one. She was up in the mountains. I'd go up to sign passport papers up in Brisbane. So I went up. I said I'd stay a week, but having a habit at the time. And going 24 hours was enough. So I just stayed.
So you had to go back in school?
Yeah. I wouldn't go up there and shoot up in their property or ice around the town.
And Matty, what about your kids? How old are
Don't know. No, I don't know.
they? You must have.
13, no, 14, 13. Something like that.
Do you miss them at all?
What do you reckon? Of course.
I mean, do you want them to have the same lifestyle as you?
Definitely not. That's why I don't go around them. I wouldn't want them to have fucking... All I want them to have is a life.
Yeah.
And what's that? What do you mean by that?
A job they're satisfied with.
A job.
But it's not just hardcore addicts who take ice. On the party circuit, it's the drug of the moment. It's affordable, sociable and smokable, and it doesn't have the stigma of heroin. It's used at all levels of society, in the gay community, among students and nightclubbers, shift workers and the career-minded. Jason lives in Sydney's inner west. He started out as a recreational ice user, but quickly found himself with a habit. Using ice prevents saliva production and can cause the teeth to crumble.
It feels like in the last sort of year I've had the equivalent of 10 years of normal tooth erosion. Nasty.
Is there anything you can do to stop it, or apart from
brushing the teeth a lot, like 5 times a day. So what do you get in the ring and the pump? Yeah. Alright.
Recreational users tend to smoke ice, but doctors say this still makes the drug just as addictive as injecting it. This is how an increasing number of casual users are becoming entrapped.
Okay, I'm pinching your inspiration here, aren't I?
Jason wants to start on the long road to recovery.
Certainly after a year or two, it then becomes apparent that really it's just created a narrow-mindedness, or a self-absorption is probably a better description. And suddenly these years have slipped by, and then little real progress in life has been achieved.
Before he became a chronic user, Jason was a computer engineer on a good income. Life was on the up.
It's going to be hard, but it has to be done. And even if it doesn't work first go, I sort of need to persist in that.
I need for you to fix the shower for me.
Yeah, don't drop
it.
Jason has just set up a new house with his girlfriend Susie. She's heavily pregnant, and although the baby is not his, it's one of the reasons why Jason wants to go straight.
I know he loves me, and he knows I love him. I said to him at the very beginning of this relationship that I'd be here till the end, and I'm here till the end. I'm here to help him through this, and hopefully we'll get through it together.
Jason also has to go into rehabilitation because he's facing a minor criminal charge before the courts. This is his first day on the buprenorphine program at the local hospital clinic. In a few hours, he'll get his first dose. Buprenorphine is an opiate blocker designed to stop cravings.
I feel a bit crappy at the moment because I've had to abstain from gear before going in and getting dosed, and also I expect to feel even crappier after I've been dosed. At least
While on ice, Jason has also developed a heroin habit, as many ice addicts do. For the last 3 years, he's been on the roller coaster of drug interdependence. Jason needs ice to get going and heroin to relax him. The buprenorphine is only for his heroin habit.
So how do you think it's going to react with the ice?
I don't think there'll be too big a clash there.
In Australia, there are no dedicated treatment programs or legal replacement drugs for ice or crystal meth addicts. Jason hopes that by taking out the heroin, he can break his drug cycle and begin to deal with his ice addiction.
Got dosed fairly quickly. Got a sort of tablet to put under the tongue. Sort of feel it a bit already.
What does it feel like?
It's picked up my energy and taken away the yuckiness.
Jason will have to deal with the ice component of his addiction without any substitute. And the problem is that he hasn't removed himself from the ice scene of Sydney's inner west. So far in Australia, there has only been one trial of the replacement drug dexamphetamine for meth addicts. The results were encouraging, but the federal government never provided the funds to continue the research.
I would like to have an effective pharmacological agent to treat these people. And I'd like to be able to do what my counterparts can do in the United Kingdom and treat those people who unfortunately have not benefited from every conventional health approach. I'd like to treat some of them by prescribing amphetamines to them. And in 2006 in Australia, that's hard to do.
Dr. Wodak says he and his colleagues anticipated the ice epidemic, but governments did not. Early this decade, Asian drug syndicates switched to methamphetamine because it can be manufactured cheaply. And unlike cocaine and heroin, it does not depend on crop cycles. While the federal police were busy cracking down on heroin supply to Australia, ice was flooding into our markets. The net result is that we now have nearly twice as many ice and methamphetamine addicts as heroin addicts.
The toxic ones.
You have one taken. It was really strong. Basically, you have one taken, it hits you in the guts.
First toke was like poison.
Jason's rehab failed. He continued to smoke ice during his 2-week program.
This stuff, man, was like from Andrew, a fucking shot like that, still swelling up, still hot, still cooking for $20, man. And I'm just like, fuck off, and we'd had stuff.
Soon after this was filmed, Jason was arrested by police in his local McDonald's car park and charged with possession of ice. With that charge, Jason had breached his bail from a previous conviction and was jailed at Silverwater Prison.
I'm not good at ironing. I'm not domestic.
3 weeks later, Susie prepared to visit Jason in jail for the second time. Prisoners forced Jason to dry out.
In jail, it's like he's really clingy. You know what I mean? And everyone's been saying that's because he's coming off all the drugs and stuff, and he can feel emotion again, whereas before he couldn't feel any emotion. Yeah. I don't know, because I've never been like that much into drugs or anything like that, so I don't know the full effects of what it does to people. Well, I know the full effects, but like not to the extent where all of them do. They're all fucked up on drugs.
By default, jails are the biggest rehabilitation centres in our country. In prison, ice addicts like Jason have the chance to become clean. With his court cases approaching, Susie hopes he'll be released. She believes they'll be able to start a new life.
He wants to go to the movies, and it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited to go to the movies with him. Like, movies is nothing, but just to sit there to watch a normal movie and, like, not porn or anything like that. And
so do you reckon it really could be the start of a new life?
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked. Can you tell?
But it's not going to be that simple. While pregnant, Susie has been smoking ice. She and Jason have been enjoying their habit together.
Were you smoking when you were pregnant at all?
Yeah, of course. I'm pregnant, so a couple weeks ago.
And what effect do you think that has on the baby?
A lot of people have asked me this actually. I didn't do the study myself, but someone I know has done a study at RPA, and they said, well, basically the findings were that the placenta cops it. Because I've never injected it. If I injected it, that would have gone straight into the bloodstream, obviously, but because I'm smoking it, or I did smoke it, it was filtered through and whatnot, and so doubly filtered. I still sort of sometimes think maybe something's wrong, or maybe, I don't know. But I suppose every pregnant person, they sort of, think maybe something happened or whatever.
But it couldn't be good for the fetus, surely.
No. Okay, that's it. I won't answer any more of those stupid questions. Made me feel good bad. No, it's obviously not, but I don't think I was really thinking about the fetus or the baby at that stage anyway.
It is known that using ice when pregnant can lead to underweight babies and stillbirth. It's also possible that Susie's baby will be born affected by ice and suffer withdrawal. Susie says once the baby is born, she'll adopt it out.
Like, I didn't think that I was going to become attached to, like, my child. Like, I thought I'd be really, really detached, knowing what I was deciding to do. But, like, I wrote him a letter. I wrote my son a letter, so when he's older and he asked his, like, adoptive parents, like, who my real mother was and stuff like that, they could give him this letter from me. Basically, I wanted to come across as, like, I didn't just give you away kind of thing, that I do love him, and that I would love to have raised him myself and all this stuff, but I don't think that I'm in a position really to do that.
Hey, excuse me, buddy, you don't have a spare change so I can buy some heroin, would you?
I found Matty again, on the streets and homeless. He's been thrown out of the housing department flat he was squatting in.
You know the worst thing about living on the streets? Boredom. Boredom, mate. Because, there's only so many bricks, so many footpaths.
He spent the last 3 days sleeping off his ice binge.
So do you ever think about getting off it?
Man, I get off it every day, mate. It usually takes about 2-3 points and I'm off it.
No, but I mean like giving it up. Do you think about giving it up?
Yeah, I do. Definitely. Because, but I got to want to give it up myself. I can't give it up for anyone else.
And you're getting to that. Do you think you're getting to that stage or not really?
Yeah, definitely.
So how would you get off it though? How would you start to get off it, do you think?
I don't know. Because it seems to find me. It's like everywhere I go, it's there, it's fucking around, fucking, I don't know what it is. But it's around, everywhere. It seems to be. Can't get away from it.
It's Wednesday. In 2 weeks, Matty and his group have shot up, skated, scattered and slept. Tomorrow is welfare pay day. And in a friend's squat, Matty starts his cycle again.
So what time did you did the money come in this morning?
I came in at exactly, 4:47.
So you were up waiting for it?
I reckon.
And so then what happened? How long did it take you to...
Someone held me horse, well, I got on.
How long did it take? Once you got your money, how long did it take you to get on?
7 minutes. No, I don't know. I had a shot by fucking 5 o'clock. Look at that.
Barking, that's good eyes.
Do you want to do it? Because I'm scattered.
Today's a special day for Matty. It's the first time he's seen his best mate Pete in 4 years. Pete is fresh out of prison. To celebrate, they mix together ice and another drug in the same shot. It will give them an extra high.
Mate, this is gonna fucking rock our socks off. Okay. Oh, Matty's shaking.
Once high, Matty and Pete boast about an ice-fuelled crime they committed together 5 years earlier. They claim they stole a car and led the police on a manic high-speed chase through the streets of Bondi in Sydney.
I'll tell you what happened in the fucking chase, mate. Boom, I took off in this car, mate.
I'm going to go out. Cops come towards us.
Matty's rammed up the arse.
Stop changing gears.
Oh, bang.
Left, right. Shut the fuck up.
Get back and let off and leave me.
Violent. See ya.
They call their crime an icecapade, but what they explain is incredibly dangerous as they careered onto footpaths and the wrong side of roads.
And basically, there's that much commotion and the stereo's blaring. Pull over, you're gonna kill us. Let me drive, let me drive.
And I had to reverse. Bang, crash, smash, boom. Ah! He's killed. Quick, we're going to jail for life. That's what I was thinking.
No one was hurt, but Matty says he got 2.5 years in jail and Pete 4 years. Police say ice and violence go hand in hand. And according to recent research, 1/3 of all ice addicts have served time in jail.
If we weren't on ice, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened at all.
Why?
Well, because ice...
Wouldn't have put ourselves in that predicament. Because we you know, because I'm not thinking what's going to happen in 5 minutes or whatever. I'm thinking what's happening now. You know what I mean? And I'm not worried about the consequences to my actions because I'm living the actions at that time.
Later that day, Matty can't find his drugs.
Fucking hate, man. That ice is a mad drug, eh? Mate, if I don't find them soon, everyone's stripping. Mate, I'm gonna scatter that fucking ice here for free. I'm gonna have to stop, man, or I'll start smashing things. For the first time in my life! That's what I tell you! You should have used a fucking spoon!
While Matty looks for the drugs, what Australia needs to find is a way of coping with the beginning of the Ice Age.
I reckon in 10 years, mate, the long-term effects of ice are not known because it hasn't been around that long. We're all going to be gibbering fucking idiots in a mental home, mate. You already are. All right, I'm telling you. No one knows the long-term effects of ice.
What are you doing, mate?
On the day of Jason's expected release, he was refused bail by the magistrate.
At least he'll be off the drugs, and yeah, that is a good thing.
And in the meantime, you'll just wait.
Yeah. Oh, like I'll have a child, and I'll work and whatever I have to do, and I'll wait for him. Simple as that.
Got one more bail to get from Burwood Court. Got to get.
The following week, Jason was released. He was reunited with Susie and is still dealing with his addiction.
Four Corners now offers a special broadband edition about ice or crystal meth with interactive features and extra interviews. Go to abc.net.au/4corners.